Professor Ochai, can you hear us?
Dr. Ochai, can you hear them?
I can hear you very well.
We understand you making good progress, so we've
Yes. I'm very happy
over.
to transmit. Okay, inflate.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. This one?
Yes.
12?
We just need to see the cath lab because we're doing... excellent, thank you. Can we have the case introduced?
Yep, I'm happy to do that if we can put up the slides.
Can we have the case slides up, please?
Okay,
all right. So thank you very much. Welcome to National Heart Center. So we've got a CTO case this afternoon. Just present the case. This is a 65-year-old man with risk factors of hyperlipidemia and hypertension, and he's a current smoker. His cardiac history, he first presented with stable angina about 10 years ago. At that time, angiography already showed a proximal LAD and OM1 CTO. EF was mildly impaired at 45%. He was offered but declined bypass surgery. So PCI was performed successfully to the OM, but was unsuccessful for the LAD CTO. So he was treated.
this is the attempt.
Yes, actually it is. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So he was. So he was treated medically for the last 10 years, but about 3 months ago returned with more symptoms, and the myocardial perfusion imaging at that time showed multi-territorial severe ischemia with again a moderately impaired EF. So he underwent a repeat coronary angiography about a month and a half ago, showing again the proximal LAD CTO, of course, and now he had a proximal to distal RCA CTO. The OM1 stent was patent. So RCA CTO PCI was successful with DES implanted from the proximal to distal, and the target for today is the LAD. So investigations-wise, unremarkable. Perhaps LDL can be a little bit better managed, but otherwise okay. So this is the CT coronary angiogram as part of the workup for LAD CTO PCI. He's got a mid-LAD CTO length of about 30 millimeters, mixed calcific and fibrotic plaque on CT. And we'll show you some of the angiography pictures from before. So this was during his last procedure just a couple of months ago. You can see the circumflex is okay. He's got a proximal to mid LAD occlusion. Let's go to the right. So this is RCA pre and post PCI. We'll show you the angiogram for today, but from the last angiogram we saw that there were collaterals from the conus branch to the mid-LAD, as well as perhaps some faint collaterals after revascularization from the PDA through the septals. These are his risk scores. JCTO score is 3, so this is not an easy CTO PCI attempt. All right, so this is the summary, and pass over to Dr. Ochai.
So, according to the previous angiogram, distal proximal end of distal LAD mainly receives collateral through separated conus branch. So we should keep this in our mind. So this is today's first shot. I put 2 8 French long sheaths, and I put a 8 French XB35 side hole into left coronary, and this is just a 7 French internal mammary side hole into RCA. And the findings are quite different from immediately after PCI. After several weeks, PDA developed some nice collaterals to distal LAD. And I didn't know this is the attempt. So I decided to start brief antegrade approach. Actually, I put the Xion Blue into PDA and engaged IM guide to visualize proximal end of occlusion. And I tried maybe 10 minutes to put a wire into this separated conus branch and to make super selective contralateral injection by microcatheter, but wiring was impossible. But anyway, we can see distal LAD partly. I did some antegrade work. And considering very heavy calcification by CT, I started with Gaia Next 2. This wire is very resistant to calcification and seldom trapped. And this is dual injection with antegrade caravel and retrograde guiding. So occlusion seems to be relatively straight, but it's 30 millimeter, as multi-slice CT suggests. Up to here, okay? I cannot hear anything. Huh?
We're listening.
Okay.
So it's interesting, as you say, that it looks relatively straight, but in the LAO view, the LAD always has a bend.
I know. Yeah. Yes.
So it's never straight.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just stop you at that point and maybe ask for some comments from the panel about whether they agree with your strategy so far or they would have done something different. So maybe we can start with you, Yoshi.
Hi, good afternoon, Uchai-sensei. 明けましておめでとうございます。Happy New Year to you. From Yoshifumi Kashima.
Oh, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you so much. I think it, of course, and we can find the severe calcified portion in the CTO body. So, of course, we should use a hard type wire more than Gaia 2 or Gaia Next 2 at first. But I think maybe Gaia 2 cannot work as the calcium part because this calcium part may be more about 10 millimeter from the CT angiogram. So maybe we use a parallel wire technique with a much more hard wire or of course retrogradely. At first I can see the good collateral channel from septal.
Septal channel is promising.
Yes. Oh.
Like this.
Okay. Oh,
so
that's good.
This is quite different from immediately after RCA CTO PCI.
Okay. So after I can find this collateral channel, of course I should do the retrogradely next.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And maybe we can see the opinion from another panelist, Dr. Santoso.
I think I will try undergrade first, and if that fails, I will try my luck with the retrograde approach. May not be that easy, but considering the highly calcified proximal cap, of course, I completely agree. We can try to use stronger wire because we know that the seems that the course is straight, so we can use Gaia 2, 3, or even Conquest. And if it goes to subintimal space, then we can try other technique that, for example, parallel wire technique or use of Stingray.
Stingray?
Yes.
Okay.
Any more comments? I think everybody agree to do the antigrade first and maybe back up for the retrograde.
I tried Gaia Next 2, but the Gaia Next 2 was unable to make progress. So I tried Gaia Next 3. Gaia Next 3 make progress, but in LEO projection, it's apparently in subintimal space. And I cannot understand from which part the wire migrated into subintimal space. So I decided to switch to retrograde at this time. In this kind of long CTO, if antegrade wiring is successful, it can be done within 5 minutes. If we spend a long time, we will be never successful. That's my that's my impression. So I changed the guiding from internal memory into backup light 3-5 side hole. This is my favorite guide for RCA, which achieves very coaxial engagement and provides strong support. And this is a tip injection at PDA from 150 Corsair, and we can see some collateral. And fortunately, Xion blue was put into distal one. And I was unable to find out any backflow. But in septal connection without backflow, I believe we can test a little bit. In epicardial, we should never do, but in septal channel, we can do. And we can see some continuous connection to distal LAD. And you can see at the tip of retrograde Corsair, there are very strong bending of septal collateral. So I picked up SO3, and SO3 was able to negotiate this channel. And very fortunately, although I cannot aspirate any blood, Corsair easily pass through this channel. Of course, I confirmed this. And Corsair easily pass through. And this is a tip injection from retrograde Corsair. And anyway, two systems, antegrade and retrograde, are dancing. Anyway, we are in the same vessel structure. So I decided to make retrograde wiring. And this is the retrograde Gaia next to, which made progress. Looks good, but retrograde wire crossing was impossible. I tried maybe 5-10 minutes. So I pushed the caravel, changed the wire to Miracle 3, and inflated the 2-5 balloon to achieve reverse cut. But it's not easy to achieve reverse cut even with 2-5 balloon and Gaia wire. So I decided to put IVAS into this occlusion. Okay, could you show IVAS? This is pull back the first run. No? It's a first run?
Yes, this is the first run.
We can see retrograde wire is maybe in the same plane, but then it migrates into plug and then go outside. So at the very distal point, I think two systems are mostly in the same plane. Yeah, I think it's a sub-intima.
So, I mean, this is one of the difficulties when you have a long segment of CTO, is that you can get in the right plane and then go out again with the stiff wire. And this is why guideline and reverse cart has become popular, because it sort of prevents this. It's a little bit more difficult to do in the LAD because of ischemia, but sometimes do ballooning and just advance the guideliner.
Of
and
course.
it sort of overcomes this problem.
I know many people love guideliner. Okay, that's one option. But in this case, I thought at the very distal, two systems are already in the same lumen, and actually, I think retrograde Gaia wire is too strong. So I changed the wire from Gaia next to Xion black. And then after some try and error, Xion black passed through. That's what we have achieved up to now. And in order to do precise procedure, I'd like to make IVAS examination again to see from which part retrograde wire come into the proximal lumen. So could you inflate trapping balloon? No. I pull back balloon.
Any comments from the panel?
And in this case, I use trapping balloon.
Okay.
I use 8 French guide, expecting this situation. If we use 8 French guide, we can use the trapping balloon and IVAS catheter simultaneously. So during this kind of device exchange, antegrade wire never moves. That's very important. So if possible, I think antegrade system should be done with 8 French because we can utilize this technique. Okay, I check IVAS again.
So Dr. Ochiai, this Vasan speaking. So this now your guideline is in the anti-grade guiding your retrograde wire. Yes.
Retrograde wire is in. I think is in aorta. I think.
Already in
ascending aorta. Pass through.
In ascending aorta. Yeah. And now your retrograde wire somewhere is in the subintimal. Before.
Yeah, I check IVAS. Okay, deflate.
Yes. So you must check the IVAS.
Yes.
If the length of the subintimal space
Could you
is
show
just
IVAS
only
to the
minimal,
audience?
so what is
Okay,
the
link down.
comment? Any comment
link
on
down.
this state?
In this stage, Dr. Tsuji from Kusatsu Center.
Okay, so we can see retrograde wire at 8 o'clock.
To know where the two wire come to the same subintimal space.
Okay.
So it's some called
I was recording.
technique. So it's very important to make a connection after the large diagonal branch to do not lose the diagonal branch. So on the Dr. Uchiha changed the retrograde guide wire to the floppy one. Very important technique with conventional reverse cut technique like this.
Okay. So I put the retrograde wire into antegrade guide. Could you move this monitor a little bit to the right side because I want to use the spider projection?
Obi Van, go back to Angio, please.
Maybe a little bit more. Thank you. I want 25. Okay. So this is antegrade guider.
Trapping balloon is still up.
Trapping the deflate, please. Trapping balloon, we don't need that. And I pull back retrograde wire. Okay.
Very nice.
Okay, stop roll. So I take out this antegrade wire. Okay. RG3, please.
RG3.
Okay. Infrared trapping balloon. 12. Yeah, from here, maybe I was lucky to get the very distal septal connection, so we can do all stenting over this RG3. No need to make antegrade rewiring again. Okay, deflate. RG3. RG3?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I can take this out. So in this case, I inflate this balloon. No, need to do. RG3? Stop rolling. Yep. So ACT was long enough?
333.
333, okay. Okay.
Camera can show this.
Okay. Okay, 2.5 balloon again.
2.5 balloon, please.
So maybe I'll ask the panel. There's a nice learning point from this case that obviously prior to the RCA CTO being opened up, or even immediately after, there were no real collateral visible, but certainly later on there was. So how long do you think you should wait after opening right coronary or opening a vessel before you go back and how long does it take to recruit collateral?
RCA is stented, so you don't need to be very nervous about the position of retrograde.
2 months is what I would give it. Usually you can see the collateral opening up.
Okay, 2-5 balloon.
But the other interesting
and
learning point
from
here
now, I
was
make
on
undergrade
his
dilatation
initial crossing
and make
with
IVAS
Gaia
examination
neck,
again and put stent.
he got into the main vessel, but then it went out again proximally. Then he changed to a softer wire. So I thought that was an interesting point because these stiff wire tends to go straight, and as you said, the LED isn't really that straight. Slight bend. So with a very straight wire, you're likely to go in and get out again in the proximal part. So using a more controllable softer wire actually may be to your advantage.
So brings about a question. I mean, this has been a very nice demonstration of reverse cart.
12.
So I don't know what people do in their practice. So when you've sort of, for example, connected the wires are in the same space, and you're just trying to find the path. What's the wire that people use? I tend to use the Xiaomi Black. I think it's an excellent wire for that. What's people's practice?
I like something. It depends on where you are. Xiaomi Black is good. Sometimes I use XTR softer, and then you can just find the channel. It is soft enough to take the bend, but not strong enough to go back into the plug.
Actually, the wire which made the connection is Gaia Next 2, but it was its penetration force was too strong to negotiate with proximal plug. So all procedures were suggested by IVAS findings.
The IVAS is very helpful.
Very helpful, huh? Okay, ring down again.
Show the IVAS, please. Ring down. Press again.
Okay. So we enter proximal LED, and I put the stent from here, and it's 1, 2, 3, huh? And maybe this part will be, I think, around landing zone. Huh? Okay, recording.
Yes, I think for the retrograde Y to go inside the anti-grade guiding, or usually if you can success with a softer Y like the Xiong Black or maybe XTR, XTA, I think mostly you will go into the intimal space. But if you use a very strong Y like a Conquest family or some kind of the Ion X3 or something like that,
I think
maybe you go
subintimal
and very difficult to find the true lumen.
It returned to
true lumen.
Yeah. Almost, I think, antigrade wire migrated into subintimal space from the proximal cap. 2538, alert master, please.
Yep, let's open.
2538.
Dr. Oshii, so right now you plan for the stent implantation? Do you plan for the stent implantation now, or just balloon first?
I put stent because I made 2-5 balloon inflation, check IVAS, and at this time we have nice landing zone, so I put the stent and finish the case. And the stent size is 2.5 first, and maybe proximal portion need post-dilatation with 3.0. And then I put the 3.0 at the proximal LED suggested by IVAS vessel diameter.
So, Dr. Oshii, right now maybe we can go back to Dr. Tsuchikane to see the progress
I'll show you
and then
my
come
final
back to you later.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.